generated $8 million worth of sales for the company. And my sister at the time was writing insurance, and she's like, hey, you did all that for that company. Why don't do it for yourself?
Your strength is going to really, really take you to another level.
Like, my passion is to just bring this opportunity to other people the way that it was brought to me.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country.
All right, everybody. We are excited to bring another Tri-State Trends podcast to you. I'm here with my girl, Bryttany Leshoure, FFL Winner's Circle. She's here in New Jersey, all the way from Tennessee, joining us today. Thank you for joining us and coming into New Jersey to bless us with your knowledge, wisdom, and your story, which I want to get into a little bit. But how are you today?
I'm truly blessed and excited, and just my cup is so full from learning so much from you and your team, so I appreciate you having me.
We appreciate you coming in. Well, I appreciate that, and I'd love it, Bryttany, if you could do me a favor. I want you to give us a little bit of your backdrop, kind of where you're coming from, how you find Family First Life, and then we'll get into some of your wild success.
Okay. So I learned about Family First Life when I was working for a real estate company in Tennessee. And, I had started there as an appointment setter for the realtors. Initially, I started out, it was a trial period. They're like, hey, you may not keep this job, but here's a script and a phone and figure it out. Right. 2 years later, I netted about $8 million, generated $8 million worth of sales for the company. And my sister at the time was writing insurance, and she's like, hey, you did all that for that company. Why don't do it for yourself? And at that time, I was like, no, girl, you're tripping.
I think the way you said it earlier was, girl, bye.
Girl, bye.
That's great.
Yes. So ultimately, I just got to a point in that job where I felt like I wanted to generate my own sales. I wanted to drive my own sales, and I felt like at that point, as an appointment setter, I wanted to grow, and the lid was just placed over my head. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an agent. And, I feel like...
Wait, at that point, though, you weren't talking about life insurance agent.
No.
You were talking about a real estate agent.
Yes.
Keep going.
So I went to them, and I'm like, look, well, what happened, Mark, was they ended up hiring outside of the company to run the department. They're like, oh, well, write down everything you've done, train all of these people. I was so passionate about growing a team. I'm like, yes, I want to change people's lives. My income improved there. My life improved. I loved the company. I really never thought I was going to leave. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to grow. I just knew I was going to be the the department leader. Okay. And so I go to them, and I'm like, I really want to grow. I see this for my future, and I want to be an agent. And they were basically like, hey, no, girl, stay where you're at, right? And I it just was no room for growth, so I ultimately
didn't make sense.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, honestly, I just knew God was calling me to move to a higher level in my life.
Got it.
And I was like, you know what, I'm going to be an agent here, I'm going to be an agent somewhere else.
Got it.
But my sister had already planted a seed in me, so by the time they told me no, I already knew what my next my calling was. And
so you literally, in your mind at that time, said, I'm done with real estate.
I'm done with real estate.
Because it went from real estate servicing for this company and helping them grow sales to, I want to be a real estate agent, to a seed being planted, them not giving you what you were looking for, and you saying, bye, time to do life insurance.
Yes. So
wow.
What happened was, my sister, she was selling Medicare, then she was doing this, and she... I've seen her just kind of one day struggling. The next day she made $2,000, and she's telling me, I'm like, we were on the phone. I was having a conversation with her, and I remember saying, I made $60,000 last year. I can't wait. This year I'm going to make 80. And she's like, why not 100? What, like, why are you thinking so small? And I think that those kind of conversations are the ones that, call us to greater. So in that moment, I was like,
Is this your younger sister or your older sister?
My younger sister.
Wow.
Yes.
I love it.
It's like when the teacher becomes a student.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So I ended up quitting my job. I just, honestly, what I told you was really I woke up and I just knew God was like, hey, this is going to be the last day. This might be your last day here.
Right.
And so I went in and I was like, it's going to be my last day here. It might, I want to be an agent. And they were just like, just stay where you're at. Just be grateful that you're not, flipping burgers at McDonald's.
What?
Yes. So
why is that relevant? You know what I mean? That's crazy that they would say that.
Well, because honestly, to be completely transparent, I was flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Okay.
And I was working a third shift job at a factory. And I was at night, I'd work third shift, drop my kids off at school in the morning, get them ready, and then go to McDonald's until 3 o'clock. And so I ended up finding that job and was there. So they were just like, hey, she's going to go back to flipping burgers. And God had other plans.
Hey, he got the final say.
Yeah, he does.
So that's pretty awesome. So then you become a life insurance. How did you find Family First Life?
So I went to the convention. I ended up at the convention in February.
How did you end up at the convention?
Oh, my sister.
Okay, so she's, okay.
So basically, she's telling me about it before I quit my job. She told me about FFL. She had started. But I'm getting my license. I'm in the courses.
Right.
I do the courses within the 7 days. The convention's really that next week.
Love it.
I go to the convention. I actually failed my test the first time, and
Really?
I was really nervous. But I was like, you know what? I almost didn't want to go to the convention because I failed the test, but something said go. And when I was there, I was like, God, just show me that that you're in this, that this is where you want me to be. And how I knew was just I heard Sean Mike say, as long as your heart is aligned with God, in alignment with God, everything else is going to work out for you.
That's great.
And so I knew, that was where I needed to be.
That's awesome. So you went to convention and you got convicted and you said what? I'm going all in?
I'm going all in.
Huh?
I said there's no plan B. I'm going all in.
Got
so
it.
I came back. This was a lucrative real estate company that I worked for. So, when they lost me, everybody else wanting to know their secret sauce. Like, oh, how did like, Bryttany, we'll hire you to run our whole department. And I was like, no, I just knew that this is where I needed to be.
Got it.
So I didn't want to walk out of that assignment.
Got it.
So I called Claude. I said, hey, do you have a job? Because I really don't want to get back into real estate. I had an interview that next day. I was like, I'm not going to go.
Right.
I called Claude. He's like, yeah, I'll hire you right now. And so I worked for him for an admin in recruiting for about a month until my license came back, and then I started selling insurance.
Good deal. So what month did you start selling insurance, helping families?
So the end of March. So March 17th was my first appointment.
What would you say, if we can do, would you issue on that part-time 2-week time frame in March? How many families did you help?
I helped 5 families.
Okay.
So within that the last end of the month.
And then April?
April, 26 families.
Okay.
Yep. May, I kind of stayed around the same line.
Okay.
So about 28 families.
Okay.
June, 29 families.
Nice.
July, 40 families.
Okay.
And then August, I helped 50 families.
Woo. So even when you say you stayed along the same line, that 26 to 30 deal, that's pretty significant and consistent. It's got it. That had to get you excited.
Honestly, I don't see it. I focus forward. I see, I feel like I said earlier, I'm a vessel. So I don't pay attention to, my numbers. I pay more attention to who I'm helping and just focusing on the next next win.
So 40 in July, 50 families in August. That's significant. And what's very interesting and pretty awesome is that you say I don't see it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I hear what you're saying, being a vessel. You want to break that down a little bit more?
Yeah, so for me, I feel like God uses me. I feel like he's using me to save agents. He's using me to help families. And that's really what's important to me. I feel like every time I get on the phone, or even if I'm recruiting, I'm saying, God, more of you, less of me. I feel like we have to take ourselves out of it.
That's amazing.
It's not about my ego. So I feel like that's really, like, my passion is to just bring this opportunity to other people the way that it was brought to me. Because as a single mom, I feel like if I had known this 10 years ago, I would have never been flipping burgers, and I would have never, so that's what I mean about being a vessel.
I love it. I really do. That's so important, and it's so evident when you say it. It just rolls off your tongue because you actually live it and believe it.
I feel like with everything within me, like within my whole heart, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Wow.
And it's because, I feel like God just brought me from glory to glory, Like, I thought that was everything. And then God said, nah, bigger. And so now, where I couldn't build, they didn't see me as a leader. They didn't see me as a team builder. They didn't even see me as a producer. They saw me as an appointment setter.
Right.
And now with FFL, I'm doing all of those things.
Wow.
And they weren't supposed to see me that way.
Wow.
Because God had something better for me.
That's huge. Wow. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's serious, man. That hits, when you think about now in this position that you're in, that you're anointed to be in, what do you see for the opportunities and helping people,
Well, my vision, before I even started this, so before I even met Claude, before I even went to the convention, I saw, I had a huge vision for my business and, what I wanted to do. And honestly, I want to help a lot of women that don't, and men too, but mainly women that are single moms that are hustlers, and they're struggling to take care of their kids, because that's really, something I'm passionate about, because I was her, Now my son come to me and say, hey, Mom, I need a $200 pair of sneakers. I'm like, okay, got that,
Yeah.
But before, I would break down, because I didn't have help.
Wow.
So that's what I'm passionate about.
That's strong.
Thank you. As far as numbers go, I feel like God, what's that Bible verse? It says He has plans to prosper me and give me hope. Give me hope in the future,
not to harm you. Yeah.
Yep. And so I feel like I looked at that scripture, and then I was like, well, let me look up the word prosper. And prosper means adding value and money and business, and not so much money, but I feel like money is a opportunity to help other people and to bring them along.
Sure.
So as far as families go, my business by the end of the year, I want to be on the stage. I want to be a Hall of Fame agent. I want that red jacket.
Well, your trajectory looks like that's highly attainable.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. I was raised by a single mother. And I see strength in you.
Thank
I see
you.
serious strength in you. I think that you're going to do some amazing. You're already doing amazing things.
Thank you.
But I mean, as far as your ability to help people come along, I don't feel like you'll be daunted on the road to discipleship, where, it gets messy at times, like it gets exhausting at times. But you don't strike me as someone that's looking to mail it in because it's a little messy, or it's, like you said, God is just using you as a vessel. So you're looking to bring the message forth. So I encourage you to do that with everything you have while continuing to help families, because that's going to keep this right, and it's going to allow you to continue to grow, develop, and shower people with the strength that you have. Your
Thank you.
strength is going to really, really take you to another level, and it's going to have a lot of people believing that you were put on earth to help them grow. So
Thank you.
that's amazing.
Well, I'm very excited. I feel like, honestly, this is a mission. I feel like even from the top, FFL is a mission. So it's our mission to drive people forward to, and honestly, to me, I feel like it's bringing God's glory because we're bringing people financial freedom. We're helping families where they're leaving their families' legacies. And so I feel like, that's really why I'm here. I'm supposed to be here.
That's amazing. Well, we're beyond trending with you. So, Tri-State Trends Podcast, my girl, Bryttany Leshoure, thank you so much for bringing it. Thank you so much for serving the way you do. We need more people like you in the company. FFL Winner Circle, appreciate you. Thanks, Bryttany.
Thanks.